Hello everyone and welcome to today. My name is Maria Van Broeklis from The Conscious CEO, and I thought I would come on here and share a bit of my perspective on what's happening lately in the training world, in the NLP land. And I wanted to come on because I have had a number of people reach out to me in regards to the Leadership Accelerator, which is the NLP certification program that I do run. And I normally do run these live trainings. And I've had a lot of people ask whether or not I will be doing that on a virtual platform. And what I wanted to come on here today and share with you is the differentiation between the quality of the trainings compared to the price point that you may find on a virtual platform, and the reason why the trainings are specifically designed in a way to be presented in a live training. Now, at the end of the day, the choice is yours as to what you choose to do and what is congruent and aligned to your values in what you want to do and how you want it delivered. However, I'm here to tell you what the difference is in order for you to make a well-informed decision based on what you want. Now, the NLP trainings, right, there are so many of them out there, and they come in all shapes and sizes, different qualities, would vary greatly in terms of trainings that are being, out there on the market. So I want you to imagine this, right? Imagine going to a Michelin star restaurant, and the chef is preparing a meal for you, and the timing and the mixing of the ingredients is super crucial to the quality of the dish. And compare this now to the same dish prepared by potentially an amateur who, just throws a few things in with the ingredients together and gives an end result that may be great, average, maybe sometimes tasteless. However, it doesn't really reach that top Michelin star quality restaurant that you may go to because of the time preparation as well as the quality. So the other choice of, the average, let's say, chef that's producing a meal is normally mass produced. They'll cut corners, so they'll have frozen foods. They may reheat things to fill in time to be able to cut the time. However, when you leave these sort of restaurants, you sometimes feel either hungry or unsatisfied with the actual end meal that you may have. And I want you to picture this now in an NLP context where you're in a training and you've signed up to do a training that requires you to be pushed up against your stuff. So you're pushed up against your boundaries and you're feeling uncomfortable, nervous, maybe even shit scared because of the unknown and uncertainty. However, you turn to the person next to you in this training and you look at them and they're going through exactly the same thing, maybe in a different context. However, the feelings and the emotions and the thought process are very similar. And you're in this environment where you're feeling safe and able to freely express what's going on in order to move through potentially this confusion, these certain negative emotions, or even to be able to listen to the trainer who's teaching the content and bounce off ideas from other people in the room. Now, these two metaphors in terms of what an NLP can be quite like is actually quite accurate. It can be, the 5-star Michelin star style of a training that's well prepared, excellently designed to both include the classic and also new elements of NLP that makes it a really high quality course and experience for every single participant in that room. Now, It may be a very different experience on a virtual setting, and trust me, it will be. And hence why they are specifically designed in this way rather than being mass produced like a McDonald's style meal course where there's a lot of emphasis on speed in and out, and also getting the most minimal amount of quality in order for it to be suitable for the criteria of the delivery of the training. Now, the question is for me to ask you is, how do you actually choose the right NLP training for you? And for those of you who don't know what NLP is, it's neuro-linguistic programming. And just to step to the side here, NLP is commonly used amongst entrepreneurs, business owners, politicians, actors, really high influential people, because it puts their mind in a state where they're constantly in control of the decisions they're thinking and the results that they want to produce. This is why these people come to these sort of trainings and get certified in order to know. So I ask you again, how do you choose the right training for you? Think about that. What is your criteria? What is your evidence procedure? What are you looking at wanting to achieve by attending this training? What's your intention? What's your outcome? Think about all these different things rather than just looking at the most convenient thing for you. Maybe convenience is something that is part of your criteria. However, do keep in mind that there is a vast difference in the quality of trainings from a live training that is within a room, can be a small group at this stage, which is what is still allowed, or you might want him to do something more on a virtual training. Now, I'm here to explain to you the difference as to why they are different. Because within the past month of the pandemic, every business has had to pivot their business in order to cater for different ways in delivering their services and products during these times. However, the one thing that would not be done in terms of a business is to deliver a service or a product during these times that lowers the quality and the standards of the product that you're trying to deliver. And as a trainer and within my business, we pride ourselves on high quality, services, in being able to deliver the best coaches, business owners that are trained in neuro-linguistic programming. And there are a number of other trainers out there that have the same belief. However, keep your mind open in terms of what is right for you and how you choose the trainings. And, I completely understand that it can be done the same way. However, but pivoting your service in order to reduce the quality just to get something out there maybe aligned to you. However, at the Conscious CEO, we pride ourselves in delivering high quality courses and services. And sometimes there are some businesses, such as myself, that need to draw a line in just simply following others and having to choose to deliver the courses, face-to-face rather than online. So I want to break it down now, unpack a few things, because there are certain specific elements within the NLP live trainings that are critical, that are the difference within the difference from a virtual training to a live training. And one of those things is the environment that you are in as a student within these trainings. As I explained to you the metaphor earlier, imagine yourself sitting next to the person in this training that is going through exactly the same thing as you in the training room. It's designed to support you when you are going through confusion, emotions, uncomfortableness. having to think abstractly or, laterally, which, can sometimes stretch your mind and can be uncomfortable. And having to be in an environment that actually supports that and makes that safe and okay allows you to exponentially grow much bigger and quicker in an environment like that. Now, the other option is think of it, as in a virtual training. It may be convenient, however, the environment is not actually controlled, which means that there is more distractions at home and you're having to sit in a chair in front of a computer for 8 to 10 hours over a period of 7 days, right? Because the NLP practitioner training goes for 7 days, which is 4 certifications. And this can break patterns, cause what we call a pattern interrupt. So when the actual trainer is installing patterns and behaviors on an unconscious level and you're constantly interrupting these patterns because of the external environment that you might be in, with kids, with family, whatever it might be, even traffic noise outside, it can actually, break these and inhibit a lot of the patterns that can be installed on an unconscious level, which you may miss certain, content and so forth, and learning how to do techniques. Now, number 2 is techniques. A major part of these live trainings is to actually learn how to do these techniques. And this is part of the assessment during the training in order to get certified as a practitioner, master practitioner, or even as a trainer. And this is actually required by the standards of the American Board of NLP. Learning and practicing these techniques is critical, and doing them unsupervised is actually detrimental, not only to yourself, but also the person that you may be practicing with, because you're doing it unsupervised. And, because as humans, we are highly suggestible. What that means is that the language that we use can install certain patterns and behaviors into the other person. So if you're in a space where you're not being supervised by a trainer as you are going through these certain techniques, you could either be installing something unwanted or doing the process incorrectly and not really knowing at that time to know how to make adjustments to get feedback straight away. You may also, through certain, techniques such as timeline therapy, you may have someone that goes into a certain trauma at that time. And what would happen if that would happen and you wouldn't know how to be able to actually do that? And if that does happen, how to be able to handle that, because there have been many times that I have actually run trainings where I have seen students go into, as a client, into the negative emotion of a specific trauma, and I've actually had to step in as the trainer and assist the student to be able to get them out to know how to be able to release those negative emotions. So by not having that accessibly, on the side there while you're in the training, can actually tarnish the quality of the results produced as a practitioner, which means that how do you know that you're actually doing it right when you're not actually getting any feedback straight away? So there are certain techniques that do require a partner as well, and they necessitate for the practitioner to actually touch the client. So, and to undergo that, you would have to have someone physically in front of you during these times. And one of these techniques is what we use, what we call anchoring. And this requires extreme precision in application and timing, and if practiced incorrectly, can have little effect. So if a student is videoing or somehow doing it on themselves to practice, they're not really getting 100% clarity and certainty whether or not they're being able to produce a result. So having that incongruency, they will go out and produce that same result with everyone else that they may work with. And then potentially may or may not lose confidence in what, NLP is all about. So do keep this in mind and do your research in when you are looking at wanting to go out and learn certain tools and techniques, specifically in NLP, which is a certified training, not just, a webinar or a training to learn about NLP and so forth. The training, so the next one is learning styles. There are many students in a class that has very different learning styles. And as a trainer, we are trained to be able to read and know how each student is processing information and how each student is learning the information, whether or not they are consciously taking it in or they're hitting up against certain things. So we use this thing called sensory acuity in a training room as a trainer to be able to see how each student is going throughout the actual course. Definitely, on a virtual training, you can definitely see this and make adjustments. However, like I said, the environment is what makes the actual training what it is. So, so when we do this, the actual room is actually set up a specific way in order to install the information specifically, plus what the trainer is using linguistically to install information on an unconscious level into the student itself. So it's the trainer's responsibility to embed new thought patterns and behaviors on an unconscious level. And the training room is always set up in a way to be able to support that, which is why the slides are put in a certain place, the flip chart's put in a certain place, certain things are placed in the room a certain way in order to be able to access different parts of the mind and the brain for students to be able to learn on an unconscious level as well. So we install a number of patterns in the unconscious mind during this training, and to be able to do that online is much more challenging. I have tried that. However, there may be other trainers that do succeed at that. Who knows? But definitely do your research. So number 4 is industry standards. There are a number of requirements that are needed to be met in order to meet the industry standards with the American Board of NLP to be certified, in NLP. And these are practical application, written assessment, and also one of those is attendance. But the most largest component of the certification is practical application, because this is how we actually take the tools and techniques and take them out and utilize them out in the real world. And without knowing how to do those efficiently and effectively, it limits the practitioner, or they learn to the point of what they're actually taught. So therefore, the student can only teach or do what to the quality of what they've learnt. So if a training is presented in a high standard, in a high quality, where each student does not leave until they know how to do every single technique within themselves, they feel comfortable with it, then that will produce a standard of high excellence in each student that comes through. So the level of competency is required in order for every student to pass. So competency is precisely what is required for every student to know how to apply each tool and technique when going out there. So, people's minds are in the practitioner's hands. So it is important to know how to be able to be in control and in charge as a practitioner. Hence, high standards is required. So that's just in a nutshell what's happening. So if you are someone that's looking at doing an NLP training or some sort of personal development training, think about what it is you're wanting to do, what's the outcome, what you're wanting to achieve. Now, with the NLP trainings, they are, produced, I believe, in a live training. It is still doable, even in these times. It just means that we work with smaller groups at the moment. And there are many trainers that are still doing live trainings despite what's happening. So if you are looking for something convenient and cheaper, then virtually, yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for something at high quality and you pay for what you get, then, that can be something for you. But do your research, make an informed decision, and then decide in terms of what you're wanting to do. I trust this has been informative for you. I would love some feedback if you can leave me a comment. And that will wrap it up. Have a great day. Till next time. Bye for now.